No. Hi everyone, I'm Valentina Budino. I'm a DJ and producer living in Berlin, and I'm also a mom of 2 cats. So in the last years, I've been traveling a lot and playing in a lot of clubs and festivals. And I've been also running a record label with my dear friend from New York, Ivan Berko. I've been spending in the last few years quite some time in the studio making tracks. So I hope a lot of those will come to life at some point. In the last 5 years, I've also spent quite a lot of time to interview a lot of Italian people. For the book I've been co-writing with Bill Brewster. That was really, really exciting because it was something completely new for me, and being able to talk with all these people that have been there during the 70s and the 80s, also the 90s, it was just like amazing for me. I've learned so much, and I just can't wait to share all those stories of these people with all of you. Another thing that I've really enjoyed in the last couple of years is to start a new party with some of my amazing friends in Berlin and in New York, and I really love to do that because it makes you feel grounded to do something with your friends that also includes music and creating something for other people. So that's been really, really exciting. The party, Nothing Special, started in March 2024 in Berlin, in a very underground location. And I'm super happy that we had our first party in New York City this year. It's just like really nice to be able to do something I love with some of my favorite people and really dear friends in Berlin and in New York. And the fact that this is happening is just like amazing and makes me feel really excited about the future, and also really thankful that I'm able to do what I love with my friends. So my first approach with DJing was when I was 16, and I remember there was a guy playing records in the bar of my village, and it was the first time I've seen that. So I went there, I was like, what is it? I didn't know. And I remember my friend was also there, and he kind of like introduced me to what was happening, what the guy was doing. And I was 16, and I went to work during summer, and then I managed to get some turntables and bought my very few records in the only record shop that was in my city. I remember the first record was Plastic Man, so Richie Houghton. That was my very, very first record. And yeah, since then I've been like collecting records and I haven't stopped. I started to play more digital music just because I started to do a lot of edits. So I would still buy the record the record, like rip the record, do the edit, and then started to play. So there was like, when I was introduced digital music, but even though it was digital music, was still coming from buying records and do something with records. And of course, mostly of the record I buy are records from the 80s and 90s, and you can just find the file, you can just find the track on the record, so you have to buy the record. And because I've been collecting mostly old school records, I've been always digging and buying records. After buying my first Technics when I was 16, I remember just being in my room with just 5 or 6 records, because that's what also I could afford after buying the turntables. And I was just playing over and over the same records, and I was so bored of those. But at that time I had no other way to start like practicing and finding out how everything worked. There was also no, like, the only record shop that was around my area was like an hour away with the bus, and they didn't really have that many options. So just afterwards I discovered that I could buy records online, and that was actually the end, because then I was just like, doing these big orders of records, but that you could pay just afterwards when you get the package at home. And my mom always was like not happy about that, because we would receive this package of records and she had to pay for it all the time. So she was always mad at me. But yeah, so when I moved to Berlin in 2012, I was 18, so the first year was just like trying to figure out how to live in a big city, how to live by myself. I was going clubbing a lot. Yeah, everything was really amazing and exciting. And of course it felt a bit like starting from scratch, because I started to, probably a year later, to play in small bars, in clubs. And then in 2015 I started to regularly play Cocktail d'Amore at the old Grace Müller. And I would play a cocktail like every 2-3 months, so it was for many years. So for me it was actually an amazing way to learn on the spot how to be a DJ, because you can be in your room and play for hours, but it's a completely different experience when you listen to the same record on a very loud sound system, like the record sounds completely different, or to be in front of a crowd. Also, we would play for very long sets, so you also need to learn how to develop and tell a story if you don't have 2 hours, but if you have 8 hours. So all of these I've definitely learned at Cocktail, being there for many years. I think it's really important to play always for the same party or in the same club, especially at the beginning, because you learn how to feel confident, and you know the sound system, you know the equipment, you also know the vibe of the party. So all of this really helps you to learn how to be a DJ. Yeah, well, I think it's like being a DJ is really a journey, and I think it's important to do every step slowly and in a very solid way, if you can say that. After COVID, which was like, of course, a break for everyone, I started to DJ way more. I started to travel every weekend. I started to play Panorama Bar as well, which was definitely one of my dreams since I moved when I was 18. I've started my own party. I've started also to go really regularly to New York, which is definitely something that, yeah, it's just amazing to be able to experience also what's going on in New York. There is an amazing music community there. Everyone loves music so much, and it's always really inspiring. And I'm so grateful that I created this path for me. This is where I am right now. Records are very special, but what makes it, of course, really special is that they're physical. So you can touch them, you can like look at them, and they get their own value. With digital file, everything is way more random, and I think like, of course, like some digital files are amazing, and you are like, wow, I'm so happy to have that, but I don't think they give you the same feeling like something that is actually physical and you can touch. Besides the fact that, of course, a lot of music from the past, but also new stuff, is just available on records. So I think it's like, if you don't look at records at all, you might miss out a lot of really, really good and rare stuff that comes just out on vinyl. I mean, of course, also, yeah, another very special thing about owning records is that when you look at them or you take them, if you've been playing them in clubs, you definitely remember like a moment while you were playing this record. Like for instance, this one I remember, it was January 2020, so it was just 1 month before COVID started and Grace Müller closed. And I remember I did the closing for Cocktail d'Amore, which was my first closing, and I was so excited about it. And I remember playing this Suburbs of Paradise record around like 7 a.m. And I have just this image of like red lights and everyone like kind of like dancing. But the way they were moving and the red lights and the sound And the track just made me, just like one of those moments where I think I will always remember. And definitely when I have this record in my hand, I always think about that. Traveling, even though it's amazing to be able to do what we love and to see so many different places and get to know so many different people, it is actually really exhausting. And I think it's somehow lonely because you spend all those hours by yourself sitting at the airport, on the plane, at the hotel room. Like, you can easily feel isolated, even if actually what you see from the outside is actually completely the opposite. So I think, like, for me, like, I always talk with friends while I'm traveling. I use the time to read, which is something that maybe I don't do as much as I would like to during my daily basis. I definitely do a lot of meditation, which is also really helping to feel more grounded. And because, it can suck a lot of energy to just go in a place and, be with a lot of people that you maybe don't know. I'm really grateful. All the promoters and people involved in clubs are really nice, and they really try hard to give you the best experience ever, and I'm really, really thankful for that with everyone involved. But of course, like, you really need to put some good intention in order to stay sane. And I've also recently started to be sober while I play, and I think I didn't realize how good it is for the travel, but also for what I'm actually doing. I think being more present, it works better for me. Of course, this is such a personal thing, but I'm kind of like discovering these in the last couple of months, and I'm actually really loving it.
All right, hold that pose. Great. A little to the left, a little more. Good. Keep it going. Now to the right. That's it.
I also, like, what I really enjoy is just like to do some of the music projects I have with friends. I just love to work with people, and I think it's always more fun, and you can learn so much from other people. You can really learn a lot. So I've run a label with my friend from New York, Ivan Berko. I started to organize a party in Berlin with my friend Jacopo, Francesco, and so many other friends. Same, like, bringing the party in New York. It could have never happened without my friend David and a lot of really other nice people in New York. So definitely working with people is what makes everything really special. I'm also a person that, in a way, kind of really love to involve different people. So, and even just for a party when I play, it's always really nice to have friends there or family. My mom recently came to see me at Panorama Bar. My sister lives in Berlin, and she always comes to my shows. It just, like, makes a completely different. It's just a completely different feeling when you are surrounded by friends and family while you do what you love. It just makes it really special. I think a good party, like, the elements that should be there for making a good party are good music. And so I think, like, the love for music should absolutely be in the first thing. And a good crowd. That also, like, the crowd is as important as the DJ. I think, like, a good crowd can make a party really special. Good lights, no phones. Like, I think phones kill the vibe in a party. Absolutely. Like, the dance floor should be like a place of full expression of who you are, and having a flash on you, or even seeing just someone on the phone a bit far away, it just kills that feeling on you, I think. And a big fog machine. I think you need to have a huge fog machine, because, I think it also really helps to create, like, a bit of more, like, a bit of, foggy, like, vibe. And, I think the fog machine is really essential. I think one of my secrets is to don't be in a rush for anything or to get anywhere. Of course, like we are surrounded, especially now with Instagram and all of these, that we see so many like people doing amazing things, and you think like, oh damn, I wanna do that, I wanna get there, I wanna, you know. And I think it's normal to feel that way, but I think like DJing in general is something that comes with time, with culture, with to know a lot of things. And I think if you rush too much into something, you might lose some of the steps that are very essential in order to learn how to do it properly. But also, I think if you don't do that, you kind of miss some of the like emotional and nice feelings of like growing and get to know stuff and discover stuff. So I think like going slowly, don't rush anywhere. It's something that I think it's really important to, you know, to succeed, but not just succeed, but also to just feel good with what you are doing. Does it make sense what I just said? I'm not sure. Yeah? Okay. Okay.